Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Friday, August 2nd, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 9 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. When it comes to today's energy, the spirit medicine we're working with is the butterfly energy, and the butterfly energy came out in the reversal position. And with the butterfly as a spirit energy, or the spirit medicine, spirit animal medicine, it brings me to how can we utilize the butterfly energy to bring certain aspects of our lives back into balance. And with the butterfly energy coming out in the reversal position, it brings me to the thought of not being so quick to move on or not being so quick to make a change. I think of having a conversation with someone and the person I think of having a conversation with someone who is not ready. And we all probably could relate to being in this space where, say, we're having a conversation with someone and they're saying something that we don't want to hear. Maybe because they're stepping on our ego, stepping on our pride, or maybe whatever it is that they're saying makes you feel blamed, or whatever it is that you're feeling. And instead, you might say, I'm thinking of like copping out, someone copping out. The word copping out is coming to mind, but it's like, I'm thinking about someone giving in to move on from the conversation, or giving in to move on from the thing, but didn't stop to really understand what just happened here, why it just happened, so that this thing doesn't happen again. When I think of this energy or today's energy, I think of how some of us could find ourselves experiencing Groundhog Day moments, experiencing the same-ish different toilet. This is where you find yourself having the same kind of friendships with different people, the same kind of interactions with different people. And, we'll say, well, I'm very intuitive and I have good discernment, but then how if you're picking the same kind of friends and having the same kind of fallout, or the same kind of situations where these people are betraying you or taking advantage of you, or dating the same kind of partner in a different person. And this is because we're so quick to move on, but never stop to learn whatever the situation has to teach us. Or it's like a situation that doesn't work out or appears to be failure. It's really not a failed situation. It's really an instructive situation that is meant to teach us things about ourselves and also teach us how to maneuver in the world in a way that will get us more of whatever it is that we want. So when I look at today's energy, it brings me to the thought of, someone wanting to pack up and shut down mentally on a certain thing. And it's like all of the lessons haven't been learned. And you can run all you want, but just know that they'll find you. They'll find you again. They'll find you in the next partner. They'll find you in the next boss. They'll find you in the next situation. Like I think of the person who, like, say you go on a diet and, you go on this quick fad diet, maybe you jump on the keto wagon or whatever and you lost some weight, but never stop to gain the lesson in it all. So the weight will come back. Like that thing will find you. It will run you down and follow you everywhere you go because it's coming from within. So even with the relationship dynamic, yes, you might find yourself continuously in certain kind of interactions that keep playing out the same way, but the part that you're responsible for is choosing who you choose to invite in your life and who you choose not to. And for me, over the years, I learned also too how I choose to communicate and engage. So when it comes to today's energy, you could find yourself wanting to hurry up and close the door on something, but just know that, like, if there's unfinished business, it will find you. And for me, I would prefer to deal with this unfinished business. I'll prefer to deal with this unfinished business and be able to move on with my life. It's like, imagine, like, I remember having a dream one time, and I was with a family member, and in real life the family member was going through some things, and in the dream we were being chased. And I said to the family member, like, when we hit the corner, we gotta just turn around and fight. Like, if this thing takes us out, it takes us out, but we just can't keep running like this. And it's the same when it comes to, say, today's energy. Like, you might find that you want to cop out, tiptoe, and run from something, and it's like, when you hit the corner, you just gotta turn around and just fight, because it's like, it's gonna keep chasing. And do you spend the rest of your life running and isolating yourself, or do you face things head on? And for me, the more you face things head on, the more it builds up your confidence, your courage, and your strength. With the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 9 vibration, I can see situations where people cop out of fear of not wanting to rock the boat, wanting to keep things pleasant. I think of how people will have a negative view of confrontation, when confrontation doesn't have to be negative. For me, confrontation in the sense that two people are invested in trying to understand each other or a situation, opposed to just copping out and walking away. Of course, when people mean nothing to you, then you walk away. It's not worth your energy. But if someone's a part of your world, if someone's a part of your life, then it's important to speak about it. It's important to speak on it. Because eventually, like, it'll catch up. And then sometimes the way it catches up, like, I think of the person who will blow up and say, I'm sick and tired of people always taking advantage of me, or I'm sick and tired of people always this, that, and the next. And more than likely, like, this person probably been bottling up, assuming that people should know better and not fully expressing themselves and let it be known how they feel. Like, I tell myself that I cannot assume anyone knows something if I didn't tell them. It could be the most obvious thing, like the sky is blue. Like, what if they're colorblind? I don't know if, or grass is green. I think it's green that maybe colorblind people can't see. I don't know. But, I'm not going to assume, that trees are green just because I know trees are green and I've known my whole life and I was taught it early. Like challenge yourself to never assume people know anything if you didn't tell them. Because I find that the people who always assume that people should know or people know are the people who find themselves in situations where they justify being offended because people should just know better. And I'm sure if we turn it on the other foot, there's situations where people assume they should just know better. But then, when it's on us, we always find a reason why it's different when it's our turn. But when it was them, their intentions were different, but their intentions were negative, but my intentions was different. And it just helps me to just not assume that people know if I didn't tell them. Because to me, when I tell the person now, then if they turn around and like say, I tell someone, hey, I don't appreciate when you do this, that, or the next. And after I sit down and tell them, hey, I don't appreciate when you do this, that, and the next, and they continue doing it, now it's clear that, okay, they're intentionally doing this or that. So now it's up to me on, me taking myself away, me blocking that person or blocking that situation. So, never assume never assume someone knows if you didn't tell them, and trying to avoid rocking the boat or avoid confrontation only creates room for more confrontations and issues in the long run. When it comes to the tarot, we have the Hangman in the reversal position. I feel like these come out together, tell such a really good story in the sense that don't be so quick to move on. Sit in the situation for a little bit and make sure everything is clear before moving forward. So with today's energy, adding up and reducing to number 9 vibration, yeah, there's some kind of ending. Something comes to an end. I remember when I was a kid, and whenever, you know, we would get in trouble, you know, we were always told, do you know why you're in trouble? And it's like you're explained why, you know, you're being punished because you did X, Y, Z. Where I think I've seen certain situations where, like, you know, an adult might just start spanking and didn't even like say, hey, why did you do this? They just start spanking, assume, and I can imagine how traumatizing that would be for a child, where it's like somebody just start wailing on you and you think you know what you did, but you don't know what you did for sure. So because you don't know what you did exactly, it's like, you know, I think of someone just, you know, it's like walking on eggshell because you think you know, but you don't know for sure, you know, that kind of vibe. So I think of like when a person allows things to, like, you know, pile up, they just explode. So now everybody walks on eggshell because one little thing doesn't appear to warrant like the amount of energy that a person put out, when really it's stuff that's piled up. And not addressing things, you know, not addressing things head on. So confrontation is actually a good thing when both parties are invested in trying to understand what's happening. And even when the person isn't invested, when I say confrontation, I don't mean going up in somebody's face and being aggressive, but expressing yourself and allowing a person to become aware of their actions if they did do something wrong, defend themselves, or explain themselves, or even correct you because you may have had it wrong. So for me, passive aggressive behavior doesn't allow room for growth, relationships and connections that are important in my life, or where I plan to see the person over and over again. You know, communication is important so that people could learn each other. So when it comes to today's energy, yes, something is coming to an end, but I get the feeling of not wanting to let go when it comes to this thing coming to an end, or wanting to walk away from it in a certain way, or wanting to hurry up and push it to the side or act like it didn't happen when it needs to be fully addressed. And I can see how that would make sense also too with the moon in Cancer. And with the moon in Cancer, Cancer energy, 4th house energy, is timid energy. It's hidden energy, timid energy. When I say timid, doesn't mean that a person won't be timid and hurt someone else because they're, and I feel like that's the worst actually, like messing with a person who's afraid, because they could really hurt you because of their fear. So with the moon in Cancer, this is where we'll find it justified to just like say close the door on a situation without the proper closure. The proper closure meaning addressing what happened exactly and learning from the situation. Like I could see that with water energies, but I guess that's with all energies, because we all have the energies within us. But with the moon in Cancer, I could definitely see a part of us not wanting to deal with the conflict or anything that's perceived to be negative energy. I think of how people nowadays be like good vibes only, and good vibes only, to me, to say good vibes only, to me feels like someone restricting one's voice. It's the whole good vibes only thing to me can feel toxic in a way, in the sense that imagine you're in a friendship or a relationship and there's an issue, and to bring up the issue, it seems like you're bringing bad vibes. So the whole good vibes only is we all pretend like everything is good even when it's not. And the person who pushes the good vibes only, like I wonder how they deal when things aren't going their way. Do they just say, well, you're bringing bad vibes to the situation because you're making me feel this way, but no one else could speak up to them and say how they feel, because if you're complaining, you're bringing bad vibes. It's just so interesting how different things are done. And for me, it feels almost like it's taking my voice away. Whenever I see, people, always pushing good vibes only. No, sometimes the vibes gotta be bad and you gotta rise up from it. Confrontation is beneficial in healthy connections. And when I say confrontation, I'm not speaking about violence or people abusing each other or anything like that, but confrontation in the sense that expression, people expressing themselves and saying how they feel. Because like I said, the people who always wait till things have built up and then they're exploding. It's like you can't have a healthy connection there. And then also, so you're dealing with someone who's building up resentment and feeling some type of way about you, building up, keeping a list in their head, assuming that you should know and you're intentionally hurting them. Like, that's just toxic energy right there. And today's energy to me brings up possibilities or situations where we can find ourselves wanting to dismiss a thing opposed to taking the time out to really acknowledge what's happening. Venus is the ruler of the day and is squaring Mars in Gemini. So with the square to Mars in Gemini, with Venus in Leo, we value ourselves, we value courage. With it making a square to what's happening in Gemini, along with Mercury and Virgo, this is where it creates this challenge between us in relation to others. And with Venus being the ruler of the day and the energies in the day adding up and reducing to the number 9 vibration, which doesn't want to rock the boat, Venus wants to keep the good vibes only. And then the day being the second, the number 2 energy is a unifying energy. And sometimes with the number 2 operating in the lower frequency, it will prefer to stay in a union opposed to be by itself, even if the union is toxic. Similar with the number 9 energy, where it's like afraid of change or walking away from something because it's familiar. So this is where we stay with, where they say, stick to the evil, type of vibe. I can see that with the number 2 and the number 9 energy. So some things can come up today as we're questioning, should we stay in a situation or should we walk away? But the reasons why we will convince ourselves to stay in a situation is only because it's familiar and nothing else. And it's important for you to choose you, love you to the point that you choose you every time. You guys, it's such a pleasure sharing these messages with you. Hey guys, I want to share with you 7 benefits of getting a numerology natal chart awareness coaching session. The first one is understanding your internal programming. The second one is becoming more clear about your purpose and passion. The third is setting goals for success. The fourth is awareness of strength and areas of improvement. And the fourth one was foundational for me, because whenever you're aware of your weaknesses, no one can use them against you. And when you're aware of your strengths, that makes you unstoppable. And that is why I say self-awareness is a superpower. The fifth benefit is removing obstacles. We first have to become aware of a thing in order to remove it in the first place. The sixth benefit is understanding relationship dynamics. We don't have to change the people in our lives. We have to become aware of ourselves and start from there, and everything changes. And the seventh benefit is upcoming transits, if that's something that you would like to look into because you're planning for something or you just want to be aware. So if you're interested in booking a numerology natal chart awareness coaching session or learning more about it, the link to book or the link to send me an email for questions are both within the description box below. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, where I share exclusive content, the link to check out what's happening on Patreon is in the description box below. Please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a brown heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.